Bernard here, and I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my Citizen channel. We have one of our regular features today. Yeah, just because City don't do a match day programme, a hard copy anyway, we do a digital one, don't we? It doesn't mean other teams aren't doing one. There's only Burnley so far this season that haven't produced one, the same as City. So yeah, this is our regular look at the match day programme. So today, there you go, there's a guy leading at the moment. That came out in October, end of October, the Sheffield United game. So that's our sort of best rated programme so far. So other programmes have come and gone and tried to challenge it for top spot, but they failed miserably. So today, how's this one going to do? We're going to have a look at this one today. Obviously, we're going to Fulham. Is it SW6? I think it is in London there. So we're going to have a look at the Fulham programme today on our match day programme watch for the 2021 season. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. If you enjoy what I try and do on here, please push that notification so you know when these vlogs are coming out. Of course, I do these information vlogs, I do City history vlogs, City present, City quizzes, lots of different things on City there. So if any of that's of interest to you, and please tell your City supporting friends as well about me, then get that subscribers up. I'm trying to get overall to 1,000 by the end of the football season, the end of May. But I mean, it's quite a high target, but as long as I get near to it, I'll be quite happy. But any help you can give me, we're much appreciated. And if you do check the playlist, you'll notice some stuff on film and TV as well. So if that's of any interest to you, have a look at that, or someone you know might be interested, please point them in my direction. I do film reviews, drama reviews, information vlogs, quizzes, lots of different things on there. Cinema releases even eventually, once this obviously COVID's put on the back burner, although we'll see, won't we? We'll see what happens with that anyway. So if you do enjoy that, have a look at that as well. If not, if you just like the football, there's plenty of football stuff, so please enjoy. And you will see on screen a couple of links to Twitter and Facebook. So if you're after any followers or friends on there, just let me know and I will reciprocate. I do check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. All comments are welcome. Anything on programmes or anything to do with City, it doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to talk about. All comments very, very welcome. If you haven't got time for a comment or come back later and do it, just give us a thumbs up as well. That's really nice. It's great to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs up as well. Right, so yeah, we're going to have a look at this one today. Fulham versus Manchester City. Of course, the game took place on Saturday the 13th of March 2021. £3.50, so that's not too bad. I mean, we're talking London, aren't we? We're talking London prices. That's not a bad price. 100 pages, so not bad at all. Nice feel to it. Nice feel. It's obviously not stapled. It's one of these firm back things, so you sort of have to push it really down to open it up and get to look at certain things. And I've sort of done a lot of that with this, and it sort of stayed in one piece. A lot of them, if you push down on the middle of them, they sort of fall apart. But this one's quite good. This one's sort of stayed in there, hanging on in there with a lot of use. So that's a good sign. That's always a good sign. I always have a quick flick through, and it's very packed. I would say it's packed. I wouldn't say it was the most modernist of layouts, but seems to be a lot of information in here. On first sight, there seems to be a lot of ads as well, but when I looked at the ads and promos in this, it's only about 19 pages. So if you take 19 pages out of 100 pages, say it doesn't take a mathematician to work out it's 19% of the programme is ads and promos, which is quite low, so that's quite good. As I say, when I first flicked through, I thought, oh, there's a lot of ads in this, but when you actually look through, it's a lot of images and pictures, but obviously it's to do with football and City and various other things. So that's very good. So yeah, looking through it now, obviously you're going to get the start. You're going to get not every program does this, but you have the chairman, of course, his little page has a couple of pages. Then you get of course, the manager. You get that's a couple of pages. Head coach, as they call him here, Scott Parker. Then you get your captain, Tom Kearney, and there's another captain later as well that we will come across. Obviously, you get all the usual things, and there's a little in memoriam for a guy called Mike Brown as well, who obviously sadly passed away, a ex-Fulham player. That's a nice little piece on Mike Brown. If you like your history, like me, especially. And it don't mess about. We're straight into the City bit then. We're straight into the there you go, the away end. I think that's a great title. It's a bit of a waste of a page, isn't it? With just a little badge on, but that's quite a nice looking thing, obviously with Mahrez there. So you've got couple of pages there. You've got the gaffer, you've got an introduction to City. Nothing about honours or anything like that, which is all right. We know the honours, don't we? I'm not too worried about that. Danger Man, Ilkay Gundogan, etc. And then you get another little piece where it's not just current City players, but older City players as well, or even people to do with City, like the Gallagher's, number crunchers. So we look at significant numbers that have a connection with City, so that's nice. I mean, 80 there is 80 years spent at Main Road. So I mean, it's just a nice little feature with nothing over the top. Then you get the performance stats, so you get obviously how many meetings we've had against Fulham and our wins and Fulham's wins, etc. So obviously our wins much to the fore there against Fulham, and league stats comparing their sort of players with our players and our stats in the league this year. So that's very good, not a bad little thing on City. So that's how many pages is that? If you take the header page as well, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 8.5, 9 pages on City. That's not too bad. Not too bad. So there's no ads in between. It's all about City. And then interesting enough, you get I'm not too sure I've seen this guy, but something called Behind Enemy Lines, and obviously just asking questions of a City fan, which some of these programmes do. And this is Manchester City fan Dave Masterman, producer of the Ellis, James and John Robbins show on BBC Radio 5 Live, and head of content as Audio, always discusses all things blue. So that's quite good. I don't know the gentleman myself, but it's always nice to have something, a fan's point of view. And then you get into the stuff I really like, and obviously this is about a player who did play at City, not just for one season, and he didn't stay that long at Fulham either, but it's interesting because obviously there's a bit of a Danish feel to this programme as well. And it's Nicholas Jensen. So they do a little piece on Nicholas Jensen, obviously comment about what he did at City and his time at Fulham, etc., including various little images of him in action there, obviously for both teams. I think you got him dressed in the City kit as well. You got him obviously first advice there, so there you go. So yeah, that's a nice little touch if you like the history. And then carrying on from there, you get a freeze frame, which is from the football historian Lee Edwards. So he's written for programmes, and what I like about this is they have the guy who's done the piece, but they always give it a little legend of who he is and what he is. So they do that throughout the programme, which is a really nice touch. Look at that, that's old City kit there, fantastic. Steve Ireland and Mr. Barton there. Yeah, November 2005. So talk about an old game, Fulham 2, City 1. All right, they won it, so we'll give him credit for that. David James in goal there. But so even more history stuff. That's fantastic to talk about that. And then they don't just look at the game. They take the players for that game and actually find out what happened to them. So they look at the Fulham players for that game, whatever happened to those Fulham players. And then they do the same for the City players, as Mr. Vassell there. So what happened to the City players? Not in great detail, but it's just a nice touch. And then you get an interview with another captain. This is the second captain, obviously in the absence of injured Tom Kearney. So they have another guy who's on loan has took over the captaincy. So that's obviously more of interest to Fulham fans. Joachim Andersen there. Is he Danish as well? There's a little bit of a Danish feeling, that's a Scandinavian feel anyway in this, to be honest with you. Yeah, Denmark, born in Denmark. And obviously they've recently beat Liverpool, didn't they? So there's a lot of little mentions within the Fulham part of how they did well against Liverpool, etc. And then you get, again, similar to the City away thing, you get Fulham, like a history, like a little contents and all different things about history. Craven Cottage, a back issue. So we look at Craven, Ken's Gems, look at that, fantastic. So it's obviously one, again, his little legend there of who he is, what he does. And a game from Craven Cottage against City there. That was the first game of which season was that? Opening home match of the 98-99 season. So obviously a significant season for City and Fulham. I think Mr. Kevin Keegan was in charge then. I think at Fulham, who went on to I think win the league that season. We were playing a 3-0 victory for Fulham. This was our second goal. Peter Beardsley playing for Fulham. It's a great season for us under Kevin Keegan. We finished top of the table with an amazing 101 points. Well done. City were also promoted in third place. Of course we were, because I've had the famous playoffs. And then have a little feature on a programme. I had this featured on my Fulham preview. I had that programme in the background of my Fulham preview. So they're looking at the Fulham programme and what was in it, things about what was in the programme itself. So you can see all stuff that would certainly interest me and just interest any football fan, to be honest with you. And then, as part of the history of the 100 Club, they're looking at players who have played at least 100 games for Fulham over time. So it goes back and looks at a certain players who've made more than 100 appearances for Fulham. There's 5, 6, 7 pages of that with some old pictures, some great old pictures of the old days. Black and white pictures. Always very atmospheric, of course, the black and white pictures. And you got returning heroes, so it's guys who've left Fulham and then they came back. So they played for Fulham and then perhaps they came back at a later stage. So it's little features. So all history stuff, excellent. Shirt tails, 99-100. I mean, they show one of the away kits that they didn't think was very nice, but you know, obviously just things relating to that away kit in the 99-2000 season. There's only one Simon Morgan, so another look at an old ex-player. So, I mean, there's loads of stuff for Fulham. Obviously, you'd expect for Fulham fans, it's a Fulham programme, but there's tons of stuff of interest to City fans as well, or football fans in general. And you have your quiz zone for the kids, which is always nice, you know what I mean, with a spot the difference and guess the ground, etc., etc. I always like that sort of thing. Fulham squads and Gordon Davis, Gordon Davis, who was a City fan. I mean, I think I remembered that anyway. He was a City fan as a lad, but he's obviously as a regular column in the Fulham programme, and he does comment on there that he was a City fan as a lad. And you have a youth thing, questioning one of the youth players. Obviously, you have your women, Fulham women. Obviously, a bit on those. Refugee football. They have your instant replay, so they're showing off bits from the Liverpool game. That's fantastic. And then they do show bits from the defeat at home to Tottenham Hotspur. So, and next up at home, Leeds United. And this is what I really like about this as well. It's not much information, but it's quite interesting. It's sort of like done as a comic, but obviously about their goalkeeper, Marek Rodak. It must be their sub goalie, mustn't he? Because I think Areola's their main guy, isn't he? But I like the way it's done like a comic book feature and some facts about him. Not exactly deep or anything like that, but again, aim more at the younger reader. So I think that's really, really good with that comic book effect. I think that's superb. And then at the end, you get a Fulham fan, Dean Jones, discusses the latings going on at SW6. So, and obviously he's concentrating on the Liverpool game and stuff like that they won. So overall, and finally, there we go. We got even a piece on the 1970s injuries and players who got injured and what they had to do, were expected to do, even though they were injured. So it's an interesting thing, because obviously it was just showing how bad the medical welfare was of the players in those days. You know, you had a sort of groin injury, you're encouraged to run up and down the terraces and things that you shouldn't be doing. You know, so it's just an interesting thing. So, and obviously on the back you have your teams. I think that's a great programme, I'll be honest with you. Lots of history, lots of information for Fulham and City fans and football fans in general there. Obviously your kids' stuff is really good, we always want that. And that comic book feature really did appeal to me. But I think the basis of that, I mean, that is probably what a magazine should be. It's a nice mix, a lot of new stuff, a lot of the stuff of what's happening now, not just the old stuff. So you get a really good mix and it's a proper football magazine, even in the size of a little program. You know, obviously a program. I mean, that a lot of the elements in here you wouldn't mind seeing in an actual magazine itself. So I'm quite impressed with that. Is it good enough to oust Sheffield United here at back in October? Well, let's have a look. I mean, that was 100 pages as well. A little better. It's certainly got a better layout in this, but it does have a great mix of old and new as well. But yeah, I think this is tidier to look at inside layout wise. But I think as far as content's concerned, I think we have a new number one, don't we? Sheffield United got 8.5 out of 10. Yep, I think that just outs Sheffield United now. I think I'll put Fulham as 9 out of 10. So I'll produce the league up there. So as you can see, Fulham's gone in at number one. Interestingly enough, if you look at the top of the table there's 4 London teams. Is it because there's I don't know, is it to do with the the fact of the journalism based in London, perhaps, that you get some better content in the match programmes. There's a sort of wider range of people who are writing for these things. I'm not too sure, but interesting enough, you say got Fulham number 1, West Ham number 3, Arsenal number 4, and Chelsea number 5. So four out of the top 5 are actually a London club. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? From a media point of view, from a writing point of view, and content. Does that show that a lot of the talent's down there? We don't really have it up here. Well, we don't know with our lot. We don't even do a programme anymore, do we? But there you go. So there you go. I enjoyed that anyway. So Fulham takes over as number 1. So we have a new number 1. There's only a few away games left now. So hopefully it's going to take a little bit special to beat them, isn't it? I think at 9 out of 10. I'm nearly at top marks here, aren't I? I can't go much higher. I nearly give it 8.5, the same as Sheffield United, but I had another flick through the Sheffield United programme and I decided that Fulham should be up there on its own. So well done, Fulham. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. And actually, be careful. You can actually, I went to buy that at the Fulham shop. It is available at the Fulham shop, but they wanted £4.95 postage. So no, it was obviously going to cost a lot of money. So I ended up getting it on a well-known auction site in the end, a little bit cheaper. So be careful. They say it was usually it's only about £1.50, £1.95 for postage, but Fulham wanted £4.95. I mean, it must be because it's London, I'm not too sure. But so if you did want to own a copy of that and have a look for it, say it's a really good read, certainly for City fans as well. Yeah, just check on the internet, just check on the main auction sites for that one. Anyway, thanks for watching. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my film and TV channel, wherever it is. All I ever ask is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.